Making an extra $10,000 is easier than trying to save $10,000. The sooner you understand that, the sooner your life will improve. And that's a quote from Elon Musk. So how valid is this? Does it depend on the or does it depend on the context of an individual and the individual's surroundings? That's an interesting question. So this is a question. This is a statement, a quote from Elon Musk. Now, what perspective does this show us? What perspective does it reflect? It reflects an it reflects entrepreneurial thinking. It reflects high growth thinking. And what he's trying to emphasize is the power of generating new income rather than focusing solely on cutting costs. Let's say you have an organization, and instead of generating new incomes and getting more customers on board, you're simply focusing on cutting costs. It's not gonna do really well, right? So and the same applies to a person. Let's say you have a salary of $10,000 a month, let's say, which is actually a good salary even in the US. um, Now, let's say you have two choices. You either cut down on your expenses and save more money, or you generate another stream of income, which is an extra $10,000. What is better? I would say that generating more income is always better than saving. I'm not saying saving should be disregarded. You should certainly not have any unnecessary or frivolous expenditure. You should try and run a very tight ship. You should maximize your savings as far as possible. But on top of that, if you have an extra $10,000 stream of income, how good is that, right? So that makes sense. But the validity of this quote, it depends on the context. Okay, it is not universally applicable. It depends on your circumstances, the kind of opportunities you have, and the kind of mindset you have. So where does this kind of statement hold true? If you're living in a developed economy, which means that you have access to resources, you have access to people with a lot of skills, you have access to a lot of business opportunities, then you can create new income streams easily, if you are if you have the ability to do that. So if you are that sort of person, then it is not difficult for you to create new income streams. And this will definitely be more impactful than focusing on being frugal, on cutting costs. So let's say you have a job, but you start a side hustle, or you're investing in skills that will lead you to higher paying jobs, or you can live, or if you're leveraging assets that can generate passive income, then all of that is gonna be much better than simply cutting costs. Okay. Now, so you need to be in that sort of environment. Okay, if you're in a poor country, if you are in a country that is not a developed economy, then how will you be able to do that, right? So if you have limited access to resources, if you're in a low income nation, if you're in an economically challenged environment, which is let's say it's a western nation but there's a recession going on there, then the opportunities to earn your extra money, extra stream of income, may not be readily available. So in that case, the only viable strategy is saving money. So that's the sort of thing. So it all depends on the context and of the individual, the circumstances that you find yourself in, and the surroundings that you are within. Sometimes even in western nations, in high income nations, if there's a recession, if there's a bad government, you won't get all those opportunities that you would otherwise get under different circumstances. So it all depends on a lot of factors. But as long as you're in a good country with access to opportunities, as long as that is true, then making extra money is way better and easier than trying to save money and cut costs. So for that, I agree with him.